everybody, it's Charisma in the Little Pink Barn, and we're here to be part of the block of the month for Pink Barnanza. I am so blessed that you all have decided to join the Pink Barnanza. I have been planning this for so long, and I had some detours along the way, but let's not talk about those. And our first block of the month for Pink Barnanza is called Shoot for the Stars. And I chose this for a few reasons. One is that I always need like a kid quilt. I always need a graduation quilt. I feel like graduation quilts are a very popular quilt. I quilt them a lot. We're always looking for that rather than the standard traditional t-shirt quilt. This is another option. And I think it would also be great for a kid's room if we use like a space themed fabrics or something like that. But I chose just solid colors, and in my month that I'm demonstrating for you for Pink Barnanza, I'm just using scraps. I'm not sticking to the colors for the demonstrations that I used in the sample, so just be mindful of that. I just sort of grabbed whatever was on my table or whatever I needed. So anyways, the first block is actually going to be the triangles on the tops of each of our little rockets that are shooting into space. And the reason we did that is to use the fabric, and that way you have all of those colors for other months rather than having to cut those big triangles each month, because that way you can use the scraps later. So we're trying to like make the most use of the fabric, so it might seem like you're making a lot of cuts and cutting these random blocks, but there's a purpose for that. So I just want to make sure that you know that. This month will probably go pretty quickly. I would say most of the months go pretty quickly, but this one in particular, because most of it is just cutting. And the blocks are minimally pieced and they go together pretty quickly. But some other months will have a little bit more detail. So let's get along with our block and start shooting for the stars. So in my, for all of my demonstrations, when Rob or someone was cutting some kits of mine, they cut this. It's a very pale gray. It'll probably read as white maybe on camera, but it's actually a very pale gray, and I had so many cuts of this because they were a mistake in a kit. So I just wanted to go ahead and use that since I had all of those cuts. So for my sample, I'm going to be using this light gray background, and then for this block, I have this ombre, and you have a huge 12 and 7/8 inch square, and then I believe these were 9 3/8, and we cut them all on the diagonal. So now we just have these two pieces to sew, and then you just put those other ones in your scrap pile, because we're going to use all of these colors again. And then we're just going to sew that line. And then I'll go ahead and press this, and I'm going to press to the dark. So now I have two big half square triangles, and I'm going to sew those together. I'm just going to go ahead and line up my corner here. And now we have our rocket top here, and we're just going to go ahead and sew 6 of these, because in all of the various colors, and we'll have those 6 assignments for the Pink Barnanza this month. So I hope that you will share your pictures in the group, and thanks for joining me in the Pink Barnanza. Bye.